Lincoln freed the slaves. Everybody knows that, right? But what you probably don't know is after Lincoln freed the slaves, he made this statement. He said, it is important for whites to maintain the superior position. He said it was okay to free the slaves, but as long as white people have a superior position. What was he saying? He was saying, we got to get the best jobs. We have the most education. We got to make sure we keep black people just enough down where we have a superior position. I know Republicans like to tout that Lincoln was a Republican, but during that time, everybody had a little bit of corruption in them if they were white. And it wasn't hard to find. It wasn't hard to find. And this is how we got things like Jim Crow, how we got things like segregation, how we got things like poll taxes. We got to keep black folks just a little bit down so that we can maintain our supremacy. Now, some people are watching me right now. They're going to say, here he goes, another black man that's trying to say the white man is holding them down. Okay, well, let's go with that statement for a second. What do you say about black America only having 1% of the wealth in all of America? Is it simply because black folks are just lazier? Is it simply because black folks just don't like to work? That we once had 20% of this country, now we have 15% of this country, but we've always had 1% or less of all wealth in America. And let's face it, most of that wealth is Oprah, Tyler Perry, LeBron James, and Jordan, only a handful of folks. So what does that mean? 1% of the wealth in America is really a handful of black folks and a whole lot of black folks that are in poverty. Is that just because black folks are just, you know what, y'all just need to work harder? Maintaining the supremacist mentality. As a matter of fact, most white households, it says compared to other white households, black America has 1/10 of the wealth of the average white household. Is it just because black America is just lazier, least educated, and don't like to work? I know what you're thinking. There's some white folks that's watching me right now. They're saying, I never owned slaves. What are you talking about, Pastor Ted? I've never been a part of poll taxes. I've never been a part of Jim Crow. I've never been a part of any of that. I never owned it. Let me show you a passage right quick. We're going to be in Philippians 2 in a second. But look at Isaiah 3:14. Isaiah 3:14. I think it'll be on your screen. Isaiah 3:14. It says, the Lord enters into judgment with the elders and the princes of his people. It is you who have devoured the vineyard. The plunder of the poor is in your house. What does your house mean? It's among your ancestors. God says, I am judge, Israel. And you know what? You are benefiting because generations you have plundered the poor. And God says, I stand before you as your judge. Bet you hadn't read that passage before, had you? He didn't say you committed something. He said in your household you have plundered the poor. And God says in loving kindness, God says the Lord enters into judgment with the elders and the princes of his people. I stand before you as judge because you historically plundered. What does that mean? The ancestors had to pay for the sins. That generation had to pay for their ancestors' sins.
It's bigger than black and white. It's a problem with the whole way of life. Can't change overnight. But we gotta start somewhere, might as well go ahead, start here. We done had a hell of a year, I'ma make it count while I'm here. God is the only man